Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's EMF interview. My name is Debbie Sadie-Fi. I'm here with Deborah Blosnich, and today we are going to dive into a really special conversation about the Elite Mentorship Forum, also known as EMF. And we have the pleasure of talking to one of our own EMF graduates, Krista. Hey, Krista, how are you doing
Hey,
today?
Debbie. How are you guys? I'm very well, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Oh, we're so thrilled. And just so you know, Krista was in the same class as we were, and we had the opportunity to meet her in person in Tenerife last year. And it was such a special time. And yeah, we still keep up weekly, pretty much weekly with Krista.
Yes,
And it's really special to have friends and people in our peer group that help support us, and we all work together and support each other. And I just want to say that EMF is all about unlocking your potential, challenging your old beliefs, and creating lasting change in your life. And whether you're curious about personal growth or looking for inspiration, I think you will find Krista's story really insightful. Krista, let's get started. What?
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so we would love to know what inspired you to join the EMF in the first place.
Okay, let me give you a little, or your viewers, a little bit about my backstory. I was married for 16 years and together with my husband for 24, and he passed away just over 3 years ago. So after he passed away, which was very sudden, I went straight back to work and really wanted to just get on with life. And I had no clue what was going to happen. After that 5 months, I realized that I can't do this anymore. I was exhausted. I couldn't figure out a way forward. So I went with a friend. I took some sick leave and went to live in Mexico. And in Mexico, I went through my grief. I partied. I did some stupid things. I had a lot of fun, a lot of healing, but still I was searching. And while I was there, and I was there for a whole of 8 months, which is a special, very painful time in my life, I did find Peter Sage online and I joined one of his masterclasses and I started listening to his book, The Inside Track, if I recall the name correctly. And he just has such a way of putting things that just really spoke to me. And I felt sort of hope, some sort of hope there. Okay, maybe I can make it, or there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Because before I was just burying everything and didn't really want to think about the future, to be quite honest. And this was about October 22. And I joined USM then. And a month later, I returned home and gently returned back to work. Had a wonderful boss who allowed me some time to still get adjusted when I came back. And I live in London, so very cold here compared to Mexico and the beauty of the beach that I enjoyed then. But I was doing ESM and USM, and then in January I started thinking, okay, this is great. I need to figure out a way forward now. I have not been invested in myself my whole life. I'm in my late 40s, and what's going to happen? I don't really like my job. I need something. I need to figure out what's going to happen with my life going forward. Who am I? I don't want to identify as the widow and somebody who never did anything with their life. And obviously, by then, I had realized that there is so much more to life than work and whatever you decide to do. Like the meaningful things in life are connections to ourselves and our loved ones, and being happy and enjoying and having fun and having joy in your life. So I was hesitant to join EMF, but I spoke to a lovely lady called Emma at the time in January 23. And slowly realized and I made the big step to make this investment in myself and really start this self-growth journey, this journey of figuring out who am I without my husband, who do I really want to be? And EMF has been absolutely instrumental in my journey. It's been, 18, 20 months now since we started. And my life on the outside might look quite similar, but anybody who knew me before and has met me now knows that I've had huge change in my life. So that's it in a nutshell, how I started. If you have anything else to ask, just go ahead.
Yeah, we really appreciate you sharing your story. It's a really tragic story on the outside with you losing your husband suddenly. And it can't be easy for anyone to go through that. And I know you and I were talking earlier about sometimes things like that. You don't even know how you're going to react. You can think how you're going to handle things, but you don't know until you go through it. And it's a personal journey for everyone.
Absolutely.
And really appreciate you sharing that journey with us. And I'm going to let go to the next question.
Yeah. Thanks, Krista. Yeah, that's a huge story. And I appreciate that you share it as well, because I know that when these big events happen in people's lives, it does knock us off of course. Sometimes we feel like we were on our way and then we're like, I don't know what to do. So thank you so much, because I know that you're not alone in that story. Was there something specific or a draw to Peter's message that was different maybe than other programs that you saw? And what drew you to Peter?
Yes, absolutely. I can't say that I've been a huge self-growth person in the past, like Tony and that sort of the American stuff. No offense to you guys. I'm here. I'm a sort of a Brit. We have a different stance on things and that. Peter's style is just so down to earth, but not strict. It's not the right word, but it just really resonated with me. And it's also the fact that there's that accountability side, that I really had to be accountable for my own development. That there's this EMF is not a magic pill. You really have to make a commitment and dig deep within yourself and spend some time to really go through things. And it's not a one-time thing as well. So you have to, I've gone through EMF 3 times almost. And actually, just knowing that I was going to do this interview, I started looking a little bit about old stuff. And I was thinking, God, I really have to go back and do this again. It's so exciting. I know I've forgotten about that. I really need to put that in place again in my life and follow that. But yeah, he doesn't take any BS. Let's put it that way. And I have met him in person. He is the genuine guy that he comes across on screen, and he has a heart of gold, and he really wants to help the world to raise consciousness. And that's why I've been so privileged to be part of his program. And the value that comes through is just tremendous. Now that I think about it, 20 months after I started, when I started, I was like, okay, I didn't even think about money. But now I think it's paid itself over and over again, because I wouldn't be who I am unless I had started this program. That I know for a fact. I've done the work, but that program has enabled me to open up, to investigate, to feel, and to just go forward with a bit more courage, if that makes any sense. Yeah, and obviously the amazing people that I involved, like yourselves and other people that we know from our cohort and other cohorts, the community, and the new people that have come to work in Peter's organization. They hold us accountable, but we still have so much that we can learn every day.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, you brought up some things that I know resonate with Debbie and I too. Obviously, we have this relationship with each other, and you're in London, she's in Canada, I'm in the United States, but we have these friends. And Peter is very accessible. I've met him in person. Debbie and I have met him.
Yeah.
And that's just a huge thing. He's not someone that's over there. He is here. We get to interact with him personally, and everybody else. So I love that. Thank you so much.
And Peter actually says that part of the reason why he created the Elite Mentorship Forum was for the community, was for the peer group, because
Absolutely.
it's his family, because
Yes.
he doesn't have any biological family that is left on this earth. He treats us as part of his family, which is really special and shows how genuine of a person that he is.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
Krista,
Yes.
was there a specific moment when you felt that the EMF program was having a profound impact on your life? And if so, can you describe it?
It's having a profound impact on my life every day, to be honest, because the remnants of what started has developed into something else. But if I think about it, it's when you go through the mod, you start discovering things about yourself that you maybe were wanted to hide or not want to deal with. And it's not all just, oh, you're going to just figure everything out in one go. No, I still have things that come back. But it's giving this absolutely wonderful treasure chest of tools for us to use in our daily lives. I never used to meditate, for example. Now I meditate every day, and it's something that I would never give up, because it connects me to my soul, to my spirit, to other consciousness, to be able to get the answers that I need. But I think might have been maybe the relationships module where things start unraveling, understanding that my relationship to myself is the most important relationship. And that's where I need to invest my time. Obviously, I had realized that and before too, but it hit home, and also the fact of my relationship to time. And now I've in the last year, I've been able to more establish my relationship to other people, because I found it very hard to be genuine with other people, because I didn't want to come across as I'm the woman in grief, and feel sorry for me, because I never wanted anybody to feel sorry for me. But then it was also this, how would I put it, like, but it is my story and I want to own it. I hope it helps somebody one day. So I've owned that. So the other one is obviously becoming authentic, to become more and more of myself and finding out who I am. So those are the bits that really come to me. And then that sort of kickstarted my spiritual awakening. So that would have been like just a year and a half ago. I had a big spiritual awakening moment or period during our EMF cohort. And I dropped off the wagon for a few weeks, because I was on a cloud nine, because nothing really mattered to me. So yeah, I think those things, it just accumulates once you start going through it. And it's not about knowledge. It's about really something that you might have heard. It's not something that he's selling the modules, or the course is not some magic formula of a source that we've never heard of, or we've heard a lot of these things again and again, but the way it's put together and the strategic way that it's put together with the modules following each other, and the way we speak in the community and then get to ask questions, is just ingenious. I don't think there's any other program like that. Yeah, I think it just works on a level where you can take your time, but also gain so much every week that if you put yourself into it. Obviously, if you're not committed, then that's on you. And obviously, even me falling off the wagon for a few weeks, it was fine, because I was able to talk to I had two buddies, as we all know, you two were buddies while you were doing the cohort. So it's a great way to be able to talk to somebody who understands exactly what you're doing. So that was also a really important part of the cohort itself. I think I've gone a little off track there, but
that's okay. But that's okay. And I think everything you said is relevant to this journey that you take, right?
Yeah,
I love that you said it took you to a new place and you even sidestepped the program, but you didn't end your commitment to yourself, right? And the
No,
program,
no.
you were just like, you found yourself in an area that you're like, let me explore this a little deeper. And then you came back to it. And I think, and that's a big part of it, is when sometimes when we hear these, right, you'll do a module and you'll hear something, you're like, I've heard that before, but we didn't know how to implement it or make use of it. And now you're given some very specific steps to do it. And
Yeah.
like you said, we have our buddies or accountability partners, and we say, hey, did you just do that exercise? What happened for you? And I did it. And I think that helps us develop more of the skills that we're trying to. So I loved everything that you said there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to ask you though, can you think of a specific way maybe that completing EMF has changed your relationship to your career or your personal relationships or even for yourself and personal growth? Are there any specific examples of how your life has changed?
I think it's about everything has changed. The way I view the world. It's
It's a loaded question.
Exactly. It's a very loaded question. Now it starts with self-love. It just accepting myself for who I am, self-worth, letting go of fear, having a huge amount of gratitude for what I have in my life, the new friendships that I have, you guys, everything, all of these things. But like you said, things like one of the slogans in EMF with Peter is the outer world follows the inner world. I had heard that before, and I still, during the first few even months, I'm probably like, yeah, I get that. That's the big one. It's understanding that we truly create our reality, and how you feel is how the outer world reflects back to you. If you allow other people or circumstances to affect you all the time, how you feel about yourself, about your circumstances, then your life's not going to be so good. So understanding that you have challenges, and challenges are not going to go away, but still you feel within you that it's okay, everything's going to be all right. And you're able to be then yourself throughout that, because you're true to having that integrity, having the integrity to what you know yourself to be, at least in that moment. Because I feel like I'm evolving constantly. We could talk one week and I'm like, oh my God, I have this great thing that happened to me this week. This has happened so many times, hasn't it? It's so exciting sometimes to share stuff that we've gone through. There's so many things I can't even pick. But my spiritual evolution is obviously absolutely one of the major things, understanding that from the past, like not having guilt or shame about how I behaved in the past, whether it's within my marriage or with my family, is that was my level of consciousness back then. And now it's different. And then say a few years ahead from now, I might be looking at this and I said, okay, that's where I was, because we cannot perceive something that is not in our consciousness. So those are the big things that really have changed my life. And shifting perspective, just being able to look at things from a higher perspective when some challenges come across in your life. That's a huge thing.
Now, just a few little things there,
Yeah.
insights and breakthroughs that you've had during your experience. I think that we all share some of those, but it is a personal journey for all of us, and we go through it
absolutely
in a different way. But that ability to love yourself is so important, and something that a lot of us, I struggled with it, and something that I
thought it was BS. I thought, what is this mumbo jumbo? Oh, come on.
Yeah. And as you said, your outer world follows your inner world. It's not something you may have heard before, but it's when it actually resonates with you and you really understand it more than just intellectually. You understand it from your heart. So amazing breakthrough for sure. I love everything you said. Now, then the question becomes, how has EMF set you up for your own long-term success going forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that part.
Number one, the community, our EMF community. We belong in the EMT community as well. So we have access. Since we started with, there is so much more now. The STARS community, we enjoy those calls every 2 weeks. I don't have to pay anything for it. It's there. It's my community at the tap. I can join and learn something new or just connect with people all over the world. So that's absolutely one of the things. Remind me about the question again, because I don't want to walk up.
Now how EMF has set you up for your long-term.
Yeah, exactly. Like the tools, like I said, the tools that come from all the modules, they set this foundation. If you find a challenge in your life about something, let's say you're finding a moment where, okay, now suddenly my finances are not going so well, what should I do? Maybe I go to the module, have a little think, and just remember about the fact that I create my reality and my worth is not linked to my bank account. And I know that I'm okay no matter what. So obviously everybody has a different way of taking these tools and working with them. And some things are more important to other people than other things. But that's definitely one of the things. And it's just setting up the foundation. It's there. One of the things that Peter says, please don't quote me, I can't quote him on everything. What does he say? Because when we always say, but I've heard that before.
Oh, the war cry.
Yeah, the war cry of failure is that I've heard it before. And I've done that before. I'm like, come on, I've heard it. And then you tune out. And I said, no, there's always something magical that you can find from revisiting the modules or talking to your cohort or your friends now, that would call everybody my friend, about these subjects or just life. And we can talk about it in terms and nobody else necessarily understands it, and it's just so wonderful.
Yeah, I love what you said. It's really amazing. And what I really picked up on, and something that was very meaningful to me, is that we all can go through this program. It's the same program for everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, you will get out of it what you need for yourself. And then you can just keep coming back to it. Like you said, you've gone through it 3 times.
Yeah.
And you still continue to learn and grow as you go.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think after we finished the first round, then we had the library open to all the recordings of Peter's, all the other EMFs and the questions. And wow, because I was like, one of the things that I had was like, oh, I didn't get to ask him that because I wasn't following, I wasn't on point. I only thought about this question after that. So I was berating myself for that. Wasn't quite ready. So after I restarted listening to his modules and then re-listening to some of the Q&As with Peter, especially because back then we still had Peter on board. And I can guarantee the questions that I had would always get answered within a couple of days by me finding magically, not magic, by the way, it just is live because I created. I ask for the answer, it comes. It would just be answered. So it's fine. I never needed to have that question. And I think one thing that the new people coming on EMF now, they have an advantage of is that they have all the material. Obviously, all the videos are by Peter, and his teachings are just so wonderful. But now we have these EMT trainers who have their own perspective, who've gone through the journey, who are not Peter. So we might sometimes put him on a pedestal. Whoever somebody might go with as their trainer, there must be some sort of resonance and connection to their story, and you can gain their perspective. So understanding you can view things differently. And it's been wonderful to see some of the master trainers, for example, leading some cohorts and listening to some of their Q&As on USM or EMTs, because I'll listen to a few, and just having their perspective on the same questions that I've come across, how Peter would answer and how they've answered it. So it's absolutely fascinating. So I think that's a really wonderful thing that is generating us starting to go in there and having this confidence and say, actually, I know the material, but I have a little bit of a different spin to it, and this is the way I feel about it. And you can't get it wrong, right?
Correct. You cannot get it wrong.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
my favorite thing of what you said, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but it's like, it's once you know something else, like you learn something, you have an insight, you can never go back to being the person you were before that happened.
Yeah.
And so each time you expose yourself to the same information,
Yeah.
but you're coming at it as a different person and a new person.
Yeah,
So you continue to evolve. So absolutely beautiful.
right.
And so I believe this brings us to our final question.
Ooh,
That
finally.
if
It's the end. No, come on.
I know we could do this all day. It's so beautiful. I love it. Thank you. If you were speaking to someone that was considering EMF, what would you tell them about your experience and why they should take the leap?
Just invest in yourself, for God's sake. Who else are you going to invest in? It's your life. It just, yeah, I couldn't grasp that before. So I understand it. It's a big investment, but I would not go back. It's the best thing that I've done for myself. And it leads into so many other things, but also remembering you have to make the commitment. So don't expect anybody else to do it for you. You have to do it, but there is a community there and there is support there to be able to talk about things, and just such a beautiful journey if you allow it to happen. To maybe you don't know who you are, what you want for the future. I don't have all the answers. Gosh, I'm in the middle of my journey. Hopefully, only in the middle of my life journey. I'm going forward with a lot of hope and a lot more new, exciting experiences. Hopefully, yeah, it's massive gateway to then maybe finding more of your passion, where you want to go in life, and definitely huge amount of beautiful friends. You'll make huge amount of beautiful friends. Yeah.
Super lovely. Yeah, thank you. I think that was
No,
an absolutely beautiful answer. And so we want to thank you so very much for being here, for sharing your whole story and being vulnerable in that way, and
and I
expressing.
didn't cry once. I didn't cry in the official video documentary, sales documentary for Peter. So you'll find me crying there if you really want to see me in a different life.
So to see some growth, and
That was a year ago, yeah.
I was going to say it's exactly what almost exactly 1 year ago today that video was made.
Yeah.
I remember being there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was in Tenerife. Yeah, so we might have to include in the link somewhere as to that full video too.
Absolutely.
We will do that.
Good.
Thanks for reminding us. It becomes easier to talk about our things because we gain control over our emotions associated with the events in our lives, right? That we were giving all these painful meanings to, and then we regain our power. So absolutely gorgeous. So
wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And so thank you. We super appreciate you and love that we get to continue to connect weekly with you, and can't wait to see where your journey goes, my journey goes, Debbie's journey.
Absolutely.
And for anybody out there who is listening to this and you're thinking this sounds interesting, we invite you to go to ultimateselfmastery.com, and there you will find access to, Krista had mentioned that her first exposure to Peter was a masterclass, and that is what we invite you to go check out, or you can just DM us USM and we will send you the link to go to the Ultimate Self Mastery. And if you would also like to see the documentary that Krista was talking about, where she was breaking down and crying and talking about kind of the transformation she went through, comment transform, and we will get you a link to that. Again, thank you for everyone that watched and listened today. I hope that you found some of what Krista said insightful, because I think your shares, Krista, were very powerful. And I know that EMF has made a huge difference in your life, as it has for myself and Debbie. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. We will see you all next time.